Welcome one and welcome all to the 2024 running of the NASCAR New Year's Eve Spectacular from the Daytona International Speedway here in Daytona Beach, Florida. We've got a good one on hand tonight as we wrap up the 2024 season. We got 23 drivers competing for the $1 million grand prize over this 80-lap event. So without further ado, why don't we just get into the starting grid. On your front row, Chase Elliott, most popular driver winner, is sitting on the front row next to Martin Truex Jr., making his final start in a full-time Cup ride. William Byron and Christopher Bell, two Final Four drivers, or two should have been Final Four drivers, sitting in row number 2. Ryan Blaney and Kyle Larson are in row number 3. Alex Bowman and Ross Chastain in row 4. AJ Allmendinger and Brad Keselowski in row 5. Chris Buescher and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the last driver to qualify in row 6. Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin are in row 7. Chase Briscoe making the lone start for Stewart Haas in their official final race as a team, sitting next to Tyler Reddick, the regular season champion, in row 8. The Cup champion Joey Logano and Daniel Suarez are in row 9. Austin Cindric and Ty Gibbs in row 10. Harrison Burton are one of our race rookies, sitting next to Austin Dillon in row 11. And rounding out the field in row 12 is Jimmy Johnson. So without further ado, why don't we just get going with it? Should be a good one on hand today. So we get going here. Officially the 4th largest field in the history of the race. Only behind 2007, 2002, or 2022, both tied for second, 24 drivers, and 2011 with 27. Should be a good one on hand today. We wrap up 2024. Lots of fun, exciting action all season long, and it's going to cultivate in a strong race tonight, hopefully. One driver obviously going to walk away a millionaire after this. Who will it be? Field all bunched up here 2 by 2. Pace car will pull off. And we'll set up the green flag. We are ready to go from Daytona. And the green flag is in the air. We are racing in 2024 New Year's Eve Spectacular. Field diving off into turn 1. You see 3 wide already. It looks like Kyle Larson's going to be shoved up to the high line there. As they dive into turn 1. Martin Truex Jr. takes control of the lead from Chase Elliott, who has had not a great start here, as Christopher Bell moves into second. Now William Byron charging with Elliott on the outside. A little bit of a breakaway here for Truex. As Bell takes a look to the bottom. Field's starting to get a little bit more spread out here. As they round turn 4, Kyle Larson's still stuck up on that high line though. As the pack goes in tow, and here comes Christopher Bell to the bottom, but Truex will lead lap 1. Making his final start as a full-time driver tonight. He had to use his champion's provisional to get in, missed the playoffs this year as well. So looking to go off on a high note here, maybe reach victory lane, but he's out of the draft as William Byron ducks underneath for second. And Truex will tuck in third there on the high line. As now William Byron again diving underneath for the lead. His teammate Alex Bowman making his first start in this event since 2022. Will duck underneath with him, and Keselowski coming on there as well. Keselowski also had to use his champion's provisional to get in tonight. As did several drivers. Documented throughout the night here. But it'll be William Byron leading lap 2. A lot of shuffling going on mid-pack. Tough start for Kyle Larson. He's all the way from 6th to the back of the field, 23rd. Just a couple of laps here. Rough start for him. Hopefully he can get things going. As the field runs down the backstretch Truex making a run back at it here in third, but the Hendrick duo of Byron and Bowman now 1-2. Strategy probably talking about in the pits here. This is again an 80-lap event. Going to be necessary to make at least one pit stop. Some might choose to go with 2 pit stops. Daytona surface becoming a little bit more slicker over the years, a little more abrasive and harder on the tires. Especially with this new compound that we've been seeing with the next-gen car, no interliners, anything like that, could come into a factor here. Now Christopher Bell back up to second. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. making his name known. He's in third with Joey Logano. Another driver started near the back. Already those two up to the front as Bell ducks underneath for the lead. Joey Logano, a lot of controversy around the championship this year. A lot of people didn't think he should have been the champion. But he is the champion, a 3-time champion now in NASCAR. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. making, I believe, his 3rd appearance in this race after winning Talladega in the fall. He was their 23rd and final qualifier for the event this year. Still looking for his first win in this event as Logano ducks underneath him for second. He's going to have the space. Truex stays high. Bell ducks low to cover the spot. He's got some shuffling going on in the back as well. So we see Daniel Suarez start to put his name up in the picture here with the regular season champion Tyler Reddick right behind him. So Stenhouse shuffled down the line there. Truex and Byron coming back on the inside. As we got another challenge for the lead coming, Joey Logano. Started way in the back, but he is already on lap 6, ducking underneath for the lead. Logano, a past winner of this event as well. In fact, I think he's won back-to-back of the New Year's Eve Spectacular. Looking to go 3 straight. Nobody has been able to go 3 straight ever in this event. Could he do it again tonight? Byron back on the inside, getting help some Chevys. Got 4 Chevrolets on the inside there, 2 Hendrick cars, Byron, Bowman, and then Suarez, Atlanta winner back in February, and Stenhouse. You start to see some other drivers start to make their names known at the front. Ty Gibbs making his 2nd consecutive start in this event, looking for a little bit better of a result than last year. And behind him are one of our race rookies, Harrison Burton, the upset winner here at Daytona back in August, looking to get his first win. This is his last race for the Wood brothers before he moves on to a new team in 2025. Reddick behind him, and then we got Chris Buescher, the Watkins Glen winner, up there as well. Keselowski in tow. Roush cars starting to make their names known, the RFK cars. Behind him, Kyle Busch, whose 19-season win streak was snapped this year after a really slow start on the season. Had some chances to win late, but could not get it done, including right here at Daytona back in August, after he was the victim of a last lap pass by Harrison Burton for the win. Truly a tough finish. There had a wreck late at Kansas. He was up front for that. Nashville was another close one for him, so he's had some chances, but just not been able to get the job done. Could he, in a way, still continue his win streak with a victory here tonight? He did also have to use his Champions Provisional to get in. So you see the field start to break off in two groups here. Kyle Busch in tow here of this first group, with Ross Chastain leading the second group. Denny Hamlin, Jimmy Johnson, who started dead last, third in that group. Austin Cindric, he missed the 2023 event, is back this year though. Kyle Larson again off to a not great start. Speaking of not great starts, our pole sitter, Chase Elliott, as we come around to complete lap 10, has gone from first all the way to 22nd. And he seems to be losing the draft a little bit here. Austin Dillon also not off to a great start. Dillon had a controversial season, had the win at Richmond, which gets him into this event, but it was revoked from playoff eligibility because of the moves he had to make to get to win that race. Some tough stuff there. We go back up to the lead group now. We see Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski have reeled this group in as they are 2x2 with the Monster Energy cars both leading the draft. Tyler Reddick now on the bottom, putting Toyota up front for the first time tonight. Chris Buescher second, Martin Truex Jr. again sliding back into third. Still anybody's race, really. Even with the two groups going on here. Cautions are pretty rare in this event, though we have seen them in the past. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays into effect tonight. We'll get any of those. And again, pit stops will also be a necessity going forward. Truex moves into second. So Reddick's still leading. Now Logano moving into second. We'll take a quick commercial break here. You won't miss any of the action though. We'll be back in just a few minutes here on Pringleson Racing Network. Welcome back to the 2024 running of the NASCAR New Year's Eve Spectacular. We have another lead change William Byron back up to the lead. Daniel Suarez in second. Christopher Bell in third. And Chris Buescher moving into fourth. There's now Suarez going underneath for the lead. 15 laps complete. Still 65 to go. Daniel Suarez to the lead, and now Christopher Bell moving underneath. We got 3 wide action in the middle of the pack here. A lot of big storylines that we had this season. Of course, a lot of big changes as well that were both announced and implemented this season. Of course, you know, a lot of things going on with the car, and obviously a lot of big retirements going on. We also lost some greats this year, including Bobby Allison, who passed away back in November. Truly a tragic loss there. Rest in peace, Bobby. Also got to see first race at Iowa for the Cup Series this season. It was pretty exciting. A lot more big changes coming in 2025. Obviously, Rockingham coming back to the schedule. NASCAR's going to Mexico again. So lots of big excitement opportunities coming in 2025. You know, a lot of big shakeups as far as, you know, teams and who's going to be in them and whatnot. We already talked about Harrison Burton moving on to a new team. Stewart Haas Racing obviously folding at the end of the season. A lot of things been going on with who's going to go where there as well. There's to be a lot of big changes coming from that position. But lots of exciting things as well. As we shift towards 2025. One of the big ones came from Denny Hamlin, whose sponsor, FedEx, announced that they would not be returning in 2025, breaking a 20-year partnership that FedEx had with Joe Gibbs Racing. Obviously, FedEx not on the car tonight. Truly one of another longtime sponsors going by the wayside. So hopefully things seem to be going off there pretty well, and hopefully FedEx is still in some good positions in 2025, as well as Denny Hamlin and his team. This is our second group here. Some big changes going on. Speaking again, Chase Briscoe is our last driver in line here in 22nd position. So this is our second group. The only driver to really have lost the draft so far is Austin Dillon. Falling far behind so far, and in danger, without a caution, of going a lap down. So that'll be interesting to watch as we move forward here tonight. Christopher Bell still continuing to lead here. Stenhouse back into second position. A lot of jockeying for position here. Obviously, as we move towards first round of pit stops coming up, a lot of teams wondering, are they going to stretch it to a 40-lap fuel cycle? You can split it in half. Some going to pit a little bit earlier than halfway to be able to do 2 stops for better tires. Only time will tell. Of course, with the short race and not wanting to lose the draft, especially with pitting under green, as we see a lot in this race, with again cautions being pretty infrequent. We've seen a lot of issues with that, so it'll be definitely a lot to observe as drivers begin to make their pit stops later on tonight. As we are now 21 laps in Still 59 to go. We're just past the quarter mark of the race tonight. Christopher Bell holding steady. The view you want to have. Watch the handwork going in there. A lot of cool stuff you can get with some of these cool camera angles. And you see the distance there. That's our first group, way ahead of Group 2. Kyle Busch has lost the draft of our front group of cars here, so we are, as you can see, so Busch will have to fall into the second group if he wishes to keep the draft, but, I mean, it's about a half a lap, almost, that the difference is. I think it's more of a straightaway. And again, still anybody's race, but we got the front group now just 11 cars strong, so we complete 23 laps. Joey Logano taking the lead on the outside. So Joey Logano back up to front. Tyler Reddick in second. Daniel Suarez there now side by side with Christopher Bell for third. You know, sometimes we see, what the race dominated by just one driver or a couple of drivers. It looks like today so far we've had lots of lead changes. You know, of course we see a lot of drivers who've established themselves as more of contenders for the win. Logano, Christopher Bell, William Byron, Lim. But we've still been seeing a lot more parity at the front and also a lot better lead changes, which should be good as we get towards the end of this race. Obviously, in the past, the pit stops have always seen broken up some leaders, caused some chaos. As you see a little bit of a block there, Suarez to the bottom, going underneath Reddick. Logano will cover the point. As we come up on a lapped car, that is Austin Dillon. See how this interacts with our lead draft here. So Logano goes high around Dillon. Will block in Suarez. Blocked most of the line there and blocked a good amount of them. Now he shoves Bowman high. That sends Logano way out front. As now Dillon is in what Darrell Waltrip would call the sucker hole. He'll get filtered out of line. Filtered into line. As it seems like here. Another pass for the lead. Daniel Suarez on the inside with help from Ty Gibbs. So Suarez back out front, looking for his first win in the New Year's Eve Spectacular. As is Ty Gibbs. So now we get more single file racing action as they're still trying to filter Austin Dillon out here. now here we go. Pass for the lead. Ty Gibbs down to the inside. Ty Gibbs will go for the lead. Second-year driver. Still looking for his official first Cup win. But he did qualify for his first playoff appearance in 2024, though was eliminated in the first round. But still some momentum shooting forward for the 54 team as they will hope to build on that going into 2025. So here's William Byron ducking low. He's going to have some help from... There's your two fastest cars right there on the bottom line, Byron and Bell, with Suarez, another really fast car, in tow as well. We're starting to slide around a little bit here. Austin Dillon now been filtered out of line. Roars down the backstretch. Long distance back. Is this next group? Kyle Busch has entered it. These guys are going to need to either get single file and just ride the bottom, or hope for a caution flag to get back into this one. Seems like they're jockeying for position on their own right now. We get back to our lead draft here. So lots of big stuff going on. Oh, nice block there. Bell puts a block on Suarez. There's Logano in third. Nice tight block there, pulled by Byron to get in front of Harrison Burton. So now we see Stenhouse start to make a move back to the front. He's up to fourth. And Logano going underneath for the lead. With Stenhouse in tow. .32 laps complete now. Still 47 to go. 48 to go. Pit stops are looming. Figure out who you're going to pit with. And everything going on. Logano really doing a good job of kind of working the draft here. He is with his two Penske teammates, remember, are in this race, but they are in that second group that is still pretty far behind. Penske is in an alliance with Wood Brothers, who technically does have Harrison Burton to work with. While Burton is going to help push William Byron back to the lead and push Burton into second. With Bowman and Gibbs in tow. And we kind of see this year after year where, the bottom line usually has the better runs, usually has the Can make the moves. And the top line, everybody kind of, it's like a conveyor belt. Kind of shoves yourself to the top, so you go back to the bottom once you get to the back. Driver's still, not doing anything super crazy yet. Still a little bit before halfway. Now Ty Gibbs, Martin Truex move in behind Byron, so the Gibbs cars, all 4 Gibbs cars are in this race, 3 of them in the lead group, and Hamlin still in that second group. Now 35 laps complete, 45 to go. There's Truex again underneath, with Buescher in tow for the lead. We have 3 wide here. Couple rows deep. Shuffling out. Looks like Chris Buescher will lead that lap, but Reddick has the preferred line to get under the lead. Reddick, the regular season champion, but quite a dud to end the season. Had to go off of that points cushion more than once in the playoffs, and really didn't have a whole lot to show for at Phoenix but he did get there. Of course, 2311 Racing shrouded in its own level of controversy right now with the lawsuits going on with the charter situations. They are cleared to race in 2025, or will race in 2025, but obviously still shrouded under that controversy as law stuff still ongoing. So it'll be interesting to see how Reddick and his team can rebound, as well as Bubba Wallace and that whole organization in 2025. Here comes Stenhouse back to the inside, going for the lead. Burton in second, Gibbs third. Still nobody dipping for pit road as we close in on halfway. 48 laps complete now. Go back to our second group here. So Brad Keselowski, though, looks to be our first driver to hit pit road, hitting from 22nd, and he's all by himself. Questionable decision made here for the RFK number 6 car, but he will hit pit road. Will most likely set up a cycle of sending everybody else to pit road as well. As we see Christopher Bell coming down pit road. Switch to our pit cam for the first time tonight. We got a few other drivers in. Joey Logano coming in. It's like Ty Gibbs is in. Kyle Larson in. Kyle Busch. AJ Allmendinger. Ross Chastain. Now all making pit stops. We got more coming in now. It's like Tyler Reddick, Ricky Stenhouse, and Alex Bowman all pitting. So a good intermix of drivers pitting. Everybody going to get their service now as we getting across halfway. We got more cars coming in now. There's a big gaggle of 5. Jimmy Johnson's in. Austin Dillon obviously is a lap down, but is still in on pit road. Chase Elliott in, Chase Briscoe. Here comes some of the leaders. Harrison Burton is in. It's like Chris Buescher is in, Martin Truex, William Byron. It's like Austin Cindric in this group as well. As well as Daniel Suarez. So I believe that is everybody. Oh, we got one more group of cars coming in now. This is Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney pitting as we get through this one and probably only pit cycle, though it will come down to the wire for some drivers, especially Brad Keselowski, who pitted by himself and pitted early to kick off the cycle of green flag pit stops here. Exiting pit road safely. So I believe that does wrap up a quick cycle of green flag pit stops. Or some drivers maybe just trying to get ahead of the game a little bit. But it is going to be, some drivers are going to be cutting it close with needing to make another pit stop, as it looks like Harrison Burton will cycle through as our leader. Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Ricky Stenhouse, and Ty Gibbs also in this lead group of 5. William Byron, Chris Buescher, and Daniel Suarez also up here. So now that what was an 11-car group for the lead now whittled down to 8. Joey Logano and Alex Bowman see back there. Just a little bit out of line. At this point, they're probably going to need a caution to get back in it, or they're going to need help from the lead from the draft from behind them. Doesn't seem like a whole lot of that will come their way. So now the picture gets a little more clear as to who is going to contend for the win. So far we've got a whole host of the Toyotas. Not a lot of Chevys. Definitely not a lot of Fords up front. In fact, only 2 Fords contending for the win. 3 Chevys and 3 Toyotas. Catching up on some more lapped traffic here. This could help some of the drivers like Logano and Bowman get back up to the front here. Looks like drivers still cycling through pit stops, getting back into the draft. Still a lot of race left to go. But as we had talked about prior to the race and everything, those pit stops, they do come back to haunt some drivers. Maybe didn't choose the right way to go down pit road, but obviously with the reduced field size, nothing too crazy that you can do there. like some lap traffic here. The field's going to have to deal with a group of 5, as that second group of cars got a lot more disbanded than our main group of cars. So maybe see if these two groups are going to rejoin themselves here or not. Looks like for right now they will merge together. 2 by 2, we got 3 wide in the back there. Now 47 complete, still 33 to go. Drivers that are either on the tail end of the lead lap or are already a lap down, attaching on to our lead group of 8 to make our group of 13 that we see up here. Ricky Stenhouse is our official leader right now, but he's the 4th car on the inside behind our pole sitter Chase Elliott. Has not had a great night. In danger here of going a lap down. Austin Dillon already a lap down. He's the leader of that inside line right now. Austin Cindric also in danger. As now it looks like they'll begin to cycle up to the top. That will open the lane up for our faster cars, and so they all move up to the top now. It'll leave Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as our leader, still 31 laps to go. It's like our group of 8 now. All single file on the bottom are going to get ahead of these lapped guys. Build some more distance. And credit to the lapped cars letting the lead lap guys race it out for themselves. Which is now led by Christopher Bell in the 20 car. And one of, if not the fastest cars in the field tonight. Up front with a good shot to win it. Would be his first win in this event. And the big deal, you know, obviously other than the $1 million grand prize for winning this event, means you get qualified into all future New Year's Eve Spectacular events. The only requirement for that, you just have to start at least one race during the 2020 or during that season. So a lot on the line there. Get automatic entry into this event. It's always a big deal. Get yourself in the spotlight. A lot of drivers in this field who have not won it, including a lot of drivers up front. Chris Buescher's never won it. Ty Gibbs has never won it. Neither has Christopher Bell, Daniel Suarez, Harrison Burton, Tyler Reddick. In fact, none of the drivers up here have won this event. So good chance at a first-time winner is upon us. Line again now, so we see Chris Buescher back up front. Pretty disappointing season for the 17 team as well. but had lots of good runs, especially in the April-May time. Of course, they're just so close to victory at Kansas. Lost in still the closest finish in NASCAR history, or NASCAR Cup Series history, I should say. Had another agonizing defeat at Darlington a few weeks later. Then finally was able to get the win. But missed out on the playoffs again just barely, but was able to get a win this season at Watkins Glen. And what a thrilling finish that was. Over Shane Van Gisbergen. So allows him to be in this race and allows him to be up front contending for this win. What a win this would be for Chris Buescher. And now 5-time Cup Series winner, who won in 2016. Got 3 wins, or 2 wins a couple years ago. And picked up the win this year to get himself into this event. Ty Gibbs now underneath for second. Got the Monster Energy cars behind him. You have to wonder, drivers with super speedway experience. Well, look at Chris Buescher, a guy who he has won at Daytona before. Tyler Reddick, a Talladega winner, another super speedway winner there. Harrison Burton obviously is also a Daytona champion. So William Byron, a Daytona 500 winner. So a lot of, and even Daniel Suarez now with the reconfigured Atlanta is also technically a super speedway winner. So a lot of, yes, recent, but still a lot of super speedway experience up in this group of cars here, which has been exemplified by, exciting, tense, yet still decently clean racing tonight. Still caution-free. We're 55 laps down in this race. Still 25 to go, so a long ways to go still. A lot can happen. Again, the fuel conundrum. Who's got enough to get to the end? Who doesn't? Could come into play here. Obviously, not leading the draft helps with your fuel amount as well. So maybe some drivers going to play some strategy in that regard. So far, not a whole lot of that. With Christopher Bell now back up front, so a lot of lead changing going on up here at the front. So we see now Daniel Suarez back down underneath Bell for the lead. We continue this sort of conveyor belt motion. Not a lot of drafting help, though, from Suarez, but he'll have the momentum on the bottom to at least stay with the 20. And so will come on the bottom with Burton, and Reddick is now Stenhouse also ducking underneath his Chevrolet ally. Now he ducks back up to the top. Looks like Suarez will have the advantage just by a tiny, tiny bit. So they go down the backstretch 4x4. Suarez up front. Harrison Burton now back up to the lead. Tyler Reddick in tow. William Byron.
Laps to go now, ironic. The 21 car up front with 21 to go here at Daytona.
Comes Reddick to the bottom again with Buescher.
"20 laps to go from Daytona." The intensity picking up. The frequency of lead changes picking up. Two Monster Energy cars on the outside. Two very similarly colored blue cars on the bottom. Will get the advantage, though, as Buescher goes back to the lead. "19 laps to go." All right, 17 to go, coming to 16 laps to go. Tyler Reddick dipping underneath for the lead. Seems as though this 8-car gaggle, minus a caution, will be the 8 that will duke it out for the win. With 16 laps to go. And again, the manufacturer breakdown. 3 Toyotas, all from the Joe Gibbs Racing Department and 2311. Duking it out with 3 Chevrolets. 1 from Hendrick, 1 from JTG Daugherty Racing, and 1 from Trackhouse Racing, mixing it up with the Wood Brothers Ford and a RFK Ford. Busher and Byron go way outside. They'll get shuffled back. That puts Reddick and Ty Gibbs in a pretty commanding position here. 14 and a half laps to go now. Now 14 laps to go. There's a little bit of distance coming there between Reddick, Gibbs, and the other 6 in this group. Thirteen laps to go. Reddick's still leading. Here comes Stenhouse now on the bottom with Byron, Busher, and Bell. You can notice there is some lap traffic coming up. That is AJ Allmendinger in the 16 car. See if he gives too much trouble for our leaders. As Byron moves back into second. Allmendinger's going to stay on the bottom. That'll botch everything up as Busher's alone on the high line. This will open up the bottom for Stenhouse to come down and take the lead. Help from Suarez and Burton and now Gibbs. So Allmendinger now stays on the lead lap, though barely. Now it looks like Stenhouse will dive underneath to lap the 16 car. 11 laps to go in Daytona. To go this time by. Stenhouse still up front, but Busher coming back on the bottom. Moves into second. Allmendinger now out of the lead group, but he has split the group up even more. So they'll try and regroup now. So we have another pass for the lead. Every pass for the lead now just becoming that much more as Chris Busher for RFK trying to dive underneath and will have the lead. Now coming to 9 laps to go in the New Year's Eve Spectacular. William Byron into second. Christopher Bell back in the mix in third. Reddick is still hanging on. It's the 4th car on the inside line here. next to Stenhouse. They've got another group of cars that they're coming up on. A much larger group that could cause some trouble. But will there be enough time to get to them? Or will the race end before that? 8 to go as they come around this time. Buescher hanging on. Bells keeps looking for a place to pass, but Buescher's got him kind of held down there. Great battles going on here. Kind of reminds you of the 2000 Daytona 500. Johnny Benson going up against all those Fords. Though it's kind of reversed now with a Ford trying to block off a hard charge of Toyotas and Chevys. Johnny Benson couldn't hold on that day. Will the story be different this time? Group up front, in front of them there, going single file, as is our lead group, though. Now a little bit more spacing out. As Daniel Suarez, here comes the charge from the Chevrolets, all three of them locked together. Six to go. Suarez in behind Buescher. Now Byron moving underneath Suarez. That's exactly what Chris Buescher wants to see. Drivers fanning out in front of them. That will make it so that this lead group catches them faster. Now 5 laps to go. Ricky Stenhouse moves into second. In behind Buescher. Ty Gibbs moving in underneath. Buescher playing some good defense here at the end. Well, has anybody got anything left for him? 4 laps to go. I think they're going to catch that other group too, which could provide a little bit of extra drama. Christopher Bell moving back into third. He's had one of, if not the best car here all night long. Can he get up there and try and steal this one? And kind of right what he feels was a wrong from Martinsville back in November. Now coming to 3 laps to go. They are going to catch the group, this other group. Kyle Busch will be the first one they reach with Hamlin. There's Chastain. And they're kind of holding their line on the bottom. They'll go underneath Chastain, but have to tuck in behind Kyle Busch. Now Hamlin comes down to block Buescher. They'll go underneath Kyle Busch. Gibbs still in second. they duck underneath. Get around Hamlin. 2 laps to go. There's now Ryan Blaney and Jimmy Johnson are the next 2 that they'll reach. Everybody kind of just staying single file with all of this going on. Buescher content just to ride there. Nobody really has any passing room on him. They'll need to clear Jimmy Johnson if they're going to have any shot to make a pass for the win. Here's they come down. White flag in the air. This is the last lap in 2024. Chris Buescher has the lead. Now they've got a clear line on the bottom. Only Martin Truex is the last lapped car. Ty Gibbs second. William Byron third. Harrison Burton fourth. Will anybody have anything left for Chris Buescher? Byron moves down into second. Gibbs stuck behind his teammate. But they'll round turn 4 for the final time. It's looking to be, and it will be, Chris Buescher wins the 2024 running of the NASCAR New Year's Eve Spectacular from the Daytona International Speedway. What a drive there by Chris Buescher and that RFK number 17 team. Getting a great pit stop midway through the race. And then pulling off the pass and playing some great defense there at the end. Getting around, using the lap traffic to his advantage. And it pays off in his first ever win in the event. In his 4th attempt. Congratulations, Chris Buescher. William Byron second, Harrison Burton third, Daniel Suarez in fourth. Ty Gibbs second to 5th on the final lap. Christopher Bell had one of the fastest cars all night. He finishes in 6th. Tough break there. But great stuff. Great stuff all around tonight for everybody. It's the field pulling back down to pit road. Great race tonight. Clean racing action. And a great finish. Well, that's going to do it tonight from the Daytona International Speedway. From the 2024 running of the NASCAR New Year's Eve Spectacular. As the rest of the field pulls their way down pit road. Again, caution-free race. Had a lot of shakeups as far as the draft. So everybody kind of taking their time here to get down pit road. From a really, really, really tense racing all across the board. Let's take a look at the final results from tonight's event. Chris Buescher, your winner. William Byron, Harrison Burton, Daniel Suarez, Ty Gibbs, your top 5. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Joey Logano, and Alex Bowman round out your top 10. And those are the only lead lap finishers tonight. Martin Truex in his final race finishing 11th. Brad Keselowski finishing in 12th after a controversial way of getting down pit road all by himself, but he rallies for a top 15. Ryan Blaney 13th, Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin round out the top 15. Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, AJ Allmendinger top 20. Stuart Haas's final race, Chase Briscoe 21st, Austin Cindric 22nd, and the only driver to finish 2 laps down, Austin Dillon 23rd. Well, that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, from us tonight here at the Daytona International Speedway. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you all have a great evening, and hope you enjoyed the racing tonight. And we can't wait to see you back here next year in 2025 with Chris Buescher and who else will qualify for our field in 2025. We'll have to see.
across all of the NASCAR season that comes to play. Thank you everybody again for watching. Good night, everybody.